My name is Toya Singh. We're coming to you live at 5 p.m. with the context of the temperature of the country at this hour. As you might already be aware, since early this morning, we watched the Parliament in session. This is a special 5-day session of the Parliament. Remember, in the morning, we watched the Prime Minister address the Parliament. We also watched Mallikarjun Kharge exchange words with Piyush Goyal in the Rajya Sabha. But what is the agenda of this Parliament session? That question still remains. A few hours ago, sources confirmed to us that it was possible that the Women's Reservation Bill is what was going to be tabled. We're going to share with you details about what is proposed within that bill. But before we do that, an important addendum to what we're about to tell you. A meeting is going to be taking place in just a little while from now. This is a cabinet meeting. It's 6:30 p.m. It's expected that whatever is going to be introduced will first be discussed there. So we will have a much more concrete idea in just a little while from now. For now, what will the Women's Reservation Bill pertain to? Before we go into this data, it's important to tell you that this bill is actually something that has been introduced in Parliament years ago. It's just not been passed. What does it hold? Number one, that 33% of seats will be reserved for women, as you can see over here in the Lok Sabha. Number two, 33% of seats will be reserved for women in state assemblies. These are the central two parts of this bill. Now, what else? 33% of the seats that are already reserved for the SC and ST groups will, as you can see, be reserved for women. Now, how would that actually work? For example, within a state, what would take place is that what the reserve seats are, those might be allotted to different constituencies, but that constituency could then rotate to a different one in the next few years. Now, the other important thing here is that the reservation shall cease to exist, and this is according to the bill, within 15 years of commencement of the Act. The hope is that what the Act hopes to bring about, that change will actually be implemented and be in place 15 years post the commencement of the Act. Remember, this is a bill that we have had some parties like the BSP and the SP in the past express their opposition to. We'll go to my colleague Arunima to get more in terms of context about all of these developments. Arunima has been covering the Parliament for us through the day today. Arunima, question number one for you. Could you tell our audiences more about the meeting that's going to be taking place in a little while from now and why that is so important in terms of the speculation that exists around what the purpose of this special session is?
So it's not a pre-scheduled cabinet meeting. So of course something urgent has come up for the Prime Minister to summon his cabinet. And not many cabinet ministers till a little while back were aware as to why this urgent meeting has been called in, which also shows you that typical in the style of functioning of this government, it must be something which is urgent and which is of importance, and that's why suddenly all ministers are being called in. So what is the speculation? The speculation is that this could be about a bill which will be brought in this special session of Parliament. The speculation is about Women's Reservation Bill. Alternatively, it is also being spoken whether the OBC bill could get the cabinet's nod. Women's Reservation Bill, you've already told our viewers as to what it is about. It's about 33% reservation for women. Congress is on board. You heard Mallikarjun Kharge and Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury asking the Prime Minister to bring in this bill. Parties like K. Kavita of the BRS and the others have also been speaking about it. Even those who were opposed to this bill earlier, the Samajwadi Party, the RJD, even though they continue to say that there should be a sub-quota within the larger quota of 33% for women. So they're basically asking for caste reservation within the gender reservation. But it looks like that their opposition and their numbers, their numerical strength is not enough to stop the passage of this bill if the Congress and the BJP come together. So that is why the maximum speculation is around the Women's Reservation Bill. Last time around when the UPA government introduced this bill in Rajya Sabha, it had the numbers, but just on the threshold of making history in this old building which is on my left, the bill was left hanging. So will the history of this new building which is on my right begin with giving women their due in terms of political empowerment at the highest level? It's already there at ground level, but will this new building start its new innings with that 33% reservation? That's what the speculation is all about.
Okay, Arunima, if I could just ask you to stay with us. Let me play out for our audiences now what it is that the Prime Minister had to say when he spoke to the Lok Sabha today. Take a look at moments from his address.
प्रारंभ में महिलाओं की सदस्य संख्या कम थी, लेकिन धीरे धीरे माताओं बहनों ने भी इस सदन की गरिमा को बढ़ाया है। इस सदन के गरिमा में बहुत बड़ा बदलाव लाने में उनका योगदान रहा है। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, प्रारंभ से अब तक एक मोटा मोटा हिसाब लगाता था, करीब करीब 7,500 से अधिक जनप्रतिनिधि दोनों सदनों में मिलाकर के योगदान दे चुके हैं। इतने सालों में 7,500 से करीब ज्यादा। इस कालखंड में करीब 600 महिला सांसदों ने भी इस सदन की गरिमा को बढ़ाया है, दोनों सदन में।
All right, let's go back now to my colleague Arunima to understand more. Arunima, this is a question that audience members I've seen online especially are asking. Can you tell our audiences, usually a special session is called when it is a matter of urgency or great importance. What would be the strategic importance of introducing a women's reservation bill for the BJP in particular?
I lost your voice in between, but if you're asking me as to why the BJP is or will push for women's reservation bill, what is the big political takeaway, then the answer is that this realization that women are now emerging as a vote bank on their own. There was a time in this country's history when women voters, especially in rural parts of this country, would depend on their male family members, husband, father, brother, to make their political choices. They would just use their voting franchise but follow orders of somebody else. But from then to now, we've come a long way. Even in backward pockets of this country, education has seeped as far as our girl child is concerned. Basic education, basic sense of what is right, what is wrong. Even when I have been touring for elections in Uttar Pradesh, in Rajasthan, in other parts of the country, this realization as to who's really helping them run the household better, which government's policies is good for their children. This is a reality of New India. So women are a vote bank on their own, and that perhaps answers why the Congress, the BJP, the BRS, the other parties, almost all political parties are on board with the suggestion that time has now come to give women their due in parliament. That empowerment, that political empowerment has happened at the grassroots level. It was just hanging fire at the highest level, and now there is a realization that must happen. Of course, winnability is a criteria. Parties are still wondering whether you are going to sacrifice on winning seats because you have to accommodate.
Arunima, I'm going to have to ask you to wait for a second. We're going to cut straight to Lok Sabha as we speak. Take a look.
आर्टिकल 105 है सर, जिसके आधार पर हम बोलते हैं।
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, देख लेंगे इसको। आप केवल 1 मिनट में अपनी बात, प्लीज मिस्टर राजा। यस, यू आर वेरी सीनियर मेंबर। आई हैव बीन रिपीटेडली। जी जी, प्लीज सर, इंटरप्रिटेशन ओनली 1 मिनट सर, प्लेसिंग व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू से, ओनली 1 मिनट सर, 1 मिनट सर, बैठी सर, प्लेस सर, प्लेसिंग द फ्लैग। आप बैठिए। नो, आप बैठ जाइए प्लीज। आप बोलिए।
Placing the flag to the assembly, I quote, Nehru says, now because I have mentioned the name of Ashoka, I should like you to think that the Ashokan period in Indian history was essentially an international period of Indian history. It was not a narrowly national period. It was a period when India's ambassador went abroad to faraway countries and went abroad not in the way of an empire or imperialism, but an ambassador of peace and culture and goodwill. Therefore, this flag I have the honor to present to you is not,
thank you,
I hope,
thank you,
empire or imperialism, but it is a flag for freedom and amity and prosperity and coexistence of all communities and all religions.
Thank you. श्री पीयूष जी क्या कह रहे हैं? माननीय मंत्री जी। जी
माननीय अध्यक्ष,
प्लीज आप बैठिए ना, आप बैठ जाइए।
बहुत दुर्भाग्य की बात है कि जब इतनी सार्थक चर्चा चल रही है, जब माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आज का विषय रखा और उस विषय को नई ऊंचाइयों तक लेके गए कि पूरा सदन एक स्वर में हमारे 75 वर्ष के कार्यकाल, देश के कार्यकाल का, आज़ादी के बाद के कार्यकाल, देश में जिस प्रकार से संविधान सभा से शुरू होकर आज तक जो उपलब्धियां रही हैं, जो देश में हमारी खुश खबरियां, यादें रही हैं, अच्छी यादें जुड़ी हुई हैं इस सदन के साथ, और आगे के लिए क्या हम पाना चाहते हैं, जब एक उसके ऊपर विस्तार से सार्थक चर्चा चल रही है, और लगभग मैं मानता हूं कि सभी दलों ने इस बात का सम्मान रखा, सदन का सम्मान रखा इस चर्चा की गरिमा को संभाला, तो बहुत दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है कि एक ओछी राजनीति, बहुत छोटे स्तर की राजनीतिक ब्राउनी पॉइंट स्कोर करने के लिए कुछ मान्य सदस्य इस डिबेट के स्तर को भी गिरा रहे हैं और इस सदन की गरिमा को भी बहुत बुरी तरीके से हर्ट कर रहे हैं। मैं समझता हूँ मेरे मित्र वरिष्ठ सांसद हैं, इन्होंने दूसरे विदेशी देश में वहाँ की परंपराएं अलग है, वहाँ का काम करने का ढंग अलग है, वहाँ पे कोई सरकारी स्तर पर ऐसे रेजोल्यूशंस नहीं हुए, कभी हुए भी नहीं है, कभी हो भी नहीं सकते, और हमारे देश के अंदरूनी मामलों में कोई विदेशी ताकत कुछ बोलने जाए ऐसा संभव ही नहीं है और भारत कभी ऐसा होने भी नहीं देगा। ये दुर्भाग्य है कि एक मानसिकता, कमजोरी की मानसिकता कुछ लोगों में वर्षों वर्षों से रही है। ये गुलामी की मानसिकता को ही खत्म करने के लिए ये देश अब बड़े बड़े ऊंचे कदम उठा रहा है। G20 की प्रेसिडेंसी में भी हमने देखा भारत का मान सम्मान गौरव आज नए शिखर पर है। ऐसी परिस्थिति में हम सदन से तो एक स्वर में एक अच्छा संदेश भेजें। आखिरी दिन है यहाँ, कल सेंट्रल हॉल में फंक्शन के बाद नए सदन में प्रवेश करेंगे। ऐसी परिस्थिति में हम, मुझे लगता है इस गरिमामयी वार्तालाप को और ऊंचा लेके जाए, बजाय के कुछ सांसद, कुछ विदेशी ताकतें अगर जो देश विरोधी है, हमारे देश विरोधी है, ऐसे कुछ वक्तव्यों को लेके हम आपस में एक बटे हुए संसद के रूप में पेश हो, ये बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। मैं आपसे अनुरोध करता हूं इस प्रकार के वक्तव्य जो स्टेटमेंट्स दिए उनको एक्सपंज किया जाए। ये इस गरिमामयी आज की सभा की बैठक का हिस्सा ना बने तो मुझे लगता है इतिहास में एक अच्छा माहौल।
जी, धन्यवाद। श्री अरुण साहब जी, आप बैठ जाइए, आप क्यों बार बार खड़े हो जाते हैं? जरा हमको, आप क्यों?
माननीय सभापति जी,
बैठ जाइए प्लीज।
ये मेरा सौभाग्य है कि आज इस संसद भवन के अंतिम दिन के कार्यवाही में बोलने का अवसर मुझे आपने दिया है, आपका धन्यवाद। आज का दिन स्वतंत्र भारत के इतिहास में स्वर्णिम अक्षरों में अंकित होगा। वर्तमान संसद भवन में इस विशेष सत्र में आज ये अंतिम दिन है जब ऐतिहासिक कक्ष में हम सब अंतिम बार हिस्सा ले रहे हैं। वास्तव में यह क्षण हम सब के लिए काफ़ी भावुक करने वाला है। इस भवन ने विश्व के सबसे पुरानी लोकतंत्र के मंदिर के रूप में पिछले 8 दशक में अनेक रंगों को देखा और महसूस किया है। यह भवन गवाह रहा है तेजी से बढ़ते, विकसित होते और बदलते देश के लोकशाही का। यह प्रतीक रहा है राष्ट्र के 1 अरब से अधिक आकांक्षाओं और अभिलाषाओं का। आज जब हम भारत के अमृत काल में एक नए भवन में जा रहे हैं, जब विशुद्ध भारतीय वास्तु के आधार पर निर्मित प्रसाद हमारा पहचान होने जा रहा है। माननीय सभापति जी,
All right, as you can see over there, we played out for you the proceedings in Parliament right now. First, a statement from the DMK's A. Raja. In that statement, the leader talking about how the Manipur issue has been discussed in the European Parliament. Immediately responding to what he had to say, two responses coming in from the BJP. First, Ravi Shankar Prasad bringing up the DMK leader's statement about the Sanatan Dharm controversy. You remember that the DMK leader Udyanidhi Stalin had made a statement on September 2nd about the Sanatan Dharm, in which he'd essentially compared it to malaria, dengue. That statement had generated quite a bit of controversy. A. Raja had then come forward and said that that statement was too soft. Right now, we heard Ravi Shankar Prasad referring to exactly that in his comment. We also right now heard Piyush Goyal, the Union Minister, also referring to A. Raja, taking his statement further. My colleague Arunma with us right now. She's joining us from outside the Parliament to bring us more context. Arunma, over to you.
So Piyush Goyal wants A. Raja's comments to be expunged from the records. What did he say that he wants expunged? The fact that a European Parliament discussed the situation in Manipur and also expressed concern. Piyush Goyal said that this just shows gulami ki mansikta, that another entity is being allowed to interfere in internal matters of our country, and our parliamentarians are mentioning it on the floor of the House. This should not go on record, is what Piyush Goyal said. But Ravi Shankar Prasad actually attacked, and BJP other members of parliament also supported him. They began their attack against Raja by saying that he must first apologize for his comments on Sanatan Dharm. Now the chair has said that they are going to examine what Raja said, and Raja tried to clarify by saying that he has in the previous assembly sessions also, I think he was referring to the Tamil Nadu assembly, he said that there also have made this mention that at one time in the Ashokan period, Indians were considered ambassadors of peace, and Indians were sent to other countries with the message of peace. I think he was making that comparison that from being ambassadors of peace, now we have come to a position where other countries are discussing how violence is plaguing one part of our country. But it has not gone down well with the Treasury side. Whether it will be expunged or not, I think Chair will take that call after going through the records, and we'll know whether it has been expunged by this evening.
Okay, Arunima, if I can actually ask you to stay with us. Let's tell our audiences more about what took place in the Parliament today. Let me just remind you, today is the first of 5 days of the special session of the Parliament. Today and tomorrow are both dedicated first to talking about the last 75 years of the old Parliament building. Tomorrow, moving into the new Parliament building. We'll bring you more details about exactly this. First, we'll take a look at what the Prime Minister had to say regarding exactly this earlier today when he was addressing the Lok Sabha. Number one, he talked about the G20. He said the success of the G20, the ability of the countries there to arrive at a Delhi declaration, that was a success that was owed to all of India, not to individual parties. Point number two, he said that India thrived despite doubts and darkness. Point number three, he said, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. This is a mantra that unites the entire world. Now, take a look at the messaging behind a lot of what we're taking a look at. We'll talk to my colleague Arunima to understand more in just a second. But number four, he said, and this is important because he said this statement as he was in the old Parliament building for the last time. He said the old Parliament building continues to inspire. He said the whole world searches for a friend in India. This is obviously a reference again to the G20, the ability of the countries to arrive at a Delhi declaration. He said the historical decisions that are pending for decades have been taken in this house. He's talking obviously about the old Parliament building. He's also said this house remembers, and here he's given a quick summary of some of the most important moments in the last decade itself. Article 370, GST, one rank, one pension, and of course the economically weaker section, reservations. Now he said this house witnessed attacks on democracy and its eventual restoration. So these are just the pointers of what it is the Prime Minister said. He said, a salute to those who faced bullets to save the House. He was talking obviously of an attack that took place on Parliament years ago. He's also said Nehru and Vajpayee, two leaders who were known, remember, as parliamentarians. He said their words still echo in the Parliament. All right, let's go back very quickly to my colleague Arunima to understand more. Arunima, it's been a few hours since the Prime Minister addressed the Parliament. Can you tell us now what is the consensus on the larger messaging behind what the Prime Minister had to say? Would the opposition, does it regard it as an attack? Did it find parts of what the Prime Minister had to say pointed or not?
You know, today is a special day, if I can use that word, because today is a rare day when you have not seen any hangama, any halla gulla. A. Raja versus Piyush Goyal and Ravi Shankar Prasad was an aberration. But the rest of the day has been very congenial. Prime Minister struck the right note. He spoke about the legacy that our former Prime Ministers have left behind. Three names which came up. Of course, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was mentioned, but other than him, Pandit Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Lal Bahadur Shastri. Pandit Nehru's Streets with Destiny speech came up about what it means in the history of parliamentary democracy in India, the role that the other Prime Ministers have played. He did make he took some pot shots at the opposition by making a mention for cash for votes, an allegation against the then ruling regime, the UPA regime, that they saved their government from no confidence by offering money to the parliamentarians then. But that aside, I think even the way the opposition leaders responded, Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury or Mallikarjun Kharge, we didn't see the sort of tutu meh well, trooping into the well, sloganeering, putting up posters. We didn't see all of that. But not to say that the opposition has completely given up on its agenda. They did talk about unemployment, they did talk about price rise, and they did ask the Prime Minister to address real issues. But I think they're all waiting and watching. Today is all awash with nostalgia. Most MPs are clicking pictures, thinking about what are the days that they have spent in the old building. Some are legacy parliamentarians. Their fathers or mothers or their grandfathers or grandmothers have spent time here, so they've spoken about that. Tomorrow also I think we'll go. There's a photo op. There's a meeting in Central Hall. Tomorrow perhaps will be the last time that these MPs will formally get together in the Central Hall. From here on, when we move to the new building, all joint sessions will be in the new Lok Sabha chamber. So today and tomorrow I think is all nostalgia. The real fight will begin day after, by when we would perhaps know what is that bill that the government is planning to make this session a special session.
Arunima, thank you for bringing us that context. I'm now going to take our audiences through different reactions that have been coming in from the Parliament through the day. Take a look.
चारों तरफ आज भारतवासियों की उपलब्धि की चर्चा हो रही है और गौरव के साथ हो रही है। G20 की सफलता 100
जहां पर इस ऐवान ने अपनी नाकामी का सबूत पेश किया। एक उस वक्त जब दिल्ली की सड़कों पर सिखों की नस्लकशी की जा रही थी, एक उस वक्त जब 6 दिसंबर को बाबरी मस्जिद की शहादत हुई, आ रहा हूं भागलपुर जिसमें रेशम के कारोबार को ख़त्म किया गया, मुसलमानों को दफना दिया और वहां पर फूल गोभी उगना शुरू हो गई। एक उस वक्त नाकामी साबित हुई जब मुजफ्फरनगर और गुजरात में नस्लकशी की गई। एक उस वक्त सर जब हम देखते हैं कि मुंबई की सड़कों पर इंसानियत का नंगा नाच हुआ। एक उस वक्त जब इस ऐवान में टाडा पोटा का काला कानून बनाया गया, यूएपीए का कानून बनाया गया, आफ्सपा का कानून बनाया गया जिसको 1 साल के लिए बनाया गया था, 58 में हम 2023 में आ गए। एक उस वक्त नाकामी साबित हुई जनाब जब हम देख रहे हैं कि आज ये जो दिल है, भारत का दिल है, हिंदुस्तान का, इंडिया का दिल है, आज गरीबों में, मजलूमों में, मुसलमानों में, कश्मीर की आवाम में, दलितों में, आदिवासियों में इस ऐवान की मोहब्बत और एतमाद खत्म हो रहा है, कम हो रहा है। इसीलिए जनता सड़कों पर आकर एहतजाज कर रही है क्योंकि उनको लग रहा है कि ये इमारत बन चुकी है, हमारा दिल नहीं है। चाहे CAA का प्रोटेस्ट हो, चाहे किसानों का प्रोटेस्ट हो, चाहे शेड्यूल कास्ट के रिजर्वेशन का मसला हो। इसीलिए मैं आपके जरिए हम तमाम को मुतनब्बे करना चाह रहा हूं कि अगर हम रोडों पर इंसाफ करना जनता को अलाउ करेंगे, इस ऐवान को दिल नहीं रखेंगे, तो याद रखिए ये हमारी पार्लियामानी जमहूरियत के लिए बड़ा नुकसानदेह साबित होगा। और नुकसानदेह इसलिए भी होगा कि क्या हमको अपने ख्वाब गफलत से, अपनी जिम्मेदारियों से निभाने के लिए क्या भगत सिंह को आके बैठना पड़ेगा ऊपर कि देखो तुमने 75 साल में कैसा कानून बनाया और किसको कहां तक पहुंचा दिया। स्पीकर जनाब, इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूं कि हम तमाम को अपनी जिम्मेदारियों को निभाना पड़ेगा। ये इमारतें ईंट से बनी हुई जरूर हैं, मगर ये इस इमारत में दिल है, इस इमारत को दिल के तौर पर बरकरार रखना पड़ेगा। स्पीकर सर, एक और मिसाल दे रहा हूं जहां पर इस ऐवान की नाकामी है। सर, अब तक लोकसभा के कितने 899 मेंबर कामयाब हुए। अब बताइए सर, पार्लियामेंट्री जमहूरियत में शराकतदारी की जमहूरियत है, रिप्रेजेंटेटिव फॉर्म ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी में 8,992 में कितने मुसलमान कामयाब हुए? कितने सर? 520, जबकि 1070 को इस ऐवान का मेंबर होना चाहिए था। कितना डिप्रीविएशन है सर? कितना डिप्रीविएशन है? 92% डिप्रीविएशन है। इस मौजूदा पार्लियामेंट में स्पीकर साहब सिर्फ 26 हैं, 14% मुसलमान और सिर्फ 4.8 उनका रिप्रेजेंटेशन है। बताइए, हम वोट डालने वाले बन गए, वोट लेने वाले नहीं बने। या तो हकीकत यह है कि आप वोट डालना नहीं चाहते उनको, आप सबको वोट डालेंगे, मगर जहां पर मुसलमान आएगा वो कामयाब नहीं होगा। बताइए, जब दिल में एक 14% आबादी की नुमाइंदगी नहीं होगी तो आप क्या फैसले करेंगे? क्या इस ऐवान को हम कहेंगे कि ये रिप्रेजेंटेटिव फॉर्म ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी है? स्पीकर साहब, मैं आपको एक और मिसाल देना चाह रहा हूं। बाबा साहिब अंबेडकर ने सही कहा था, अंग्रेज उस जमाने में पार्लियामेंट बुलाते थे टैक्स बढ़ाने के लिए। हम उसी रास्ते पर जा रहे हैं, हम उसी रास्ते पर जा रहे हैं। हम तो बाबा साहब अंबेडकर को हमने सच साबित कर दिया। स्पीकर सर, आखिर में मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा कि आज आप देखिए कि चाणक्य ने क्या कहा था। चाणक्य ने सही कहा था चाणक्य ने सही कहा था कि जब राज चलाने वाले व्यापारी हो जाएंगे तो उस राज के लोग भिखारी हो जाएंगे। आज ये वक्त आ चुका है सर, आज ये वक्त आ चुका है कि क्या फर्स्ट पास द पोस्ट सिस्टम इस देश के लिए सही है या फिर हम प्रोपोर्शनल फॉर्म ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशन को फॉलो करेंगे। फर्स्ट पास द पोस्ट सिस्टम, जिसके पास एक मजहब का वोट होगा, जिसके पास दौलत होगी, वही इस ऐवान में आ रहा है। इसीलिए हम कह रहे हैं कि आप इस जमहूरियत की ना, कहीं ये जमहूरियत कमजोर ना हो जाए, मुझे इस बात का डर है सर। आखिर में मैं खत्म करने से पहले एक बहुत बड़े शायर ने कहा था, उस पर खत्म करना चाहूंगा कि अभी चिरागे सरे राह को कुछ खबर ही नहीं, अभी चिरागे सरे राह को कुछ खबर ही नहीं, अभी गिरानिए शब में कमी नहीं आई, अभी गिरानिए शब में कमी नहीं आई, निजात दीदे दिल की घड़ी नहीं आई, चले चलो कि मंजिल अभी नहीं आई। स्पीकर साहब, आखिर में याद रखिए एक बात को मैं सबसे कह रहा हूं कि पिच बदलने से गेम नहीं बदलता, गेम को बदलना पड़ेगा। आप पिच बदल रहे हैं, वरना याद रखिए जब तक हम अपने जमहूरी उसूलों पर, रूल ऑफ लॉ पर, संविधान पर अटूट अमल नहीं करेंगे, वरना याद रखिए कहीं नई इमारत भी हिटलर की राइक्सटैग की इमारत ना साबित हो जाए। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर।
ये नहीं, ये श्री अरविंद सावंत जी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। माननीय चेयरमैन सर, आज एक बड़ा ऐतिहासिक क्षण है। मैं भावुक भी हूं क्योंकि कभी
रितिका,
the leader of the opposition in Andhra Pradesh, Telugu Party national president, has been illegally arrested and kept in the Rajahmundry prison without any evidence and without any proof. So we believe that it's an illegal arrest. We are moving the courts. Legal process is going on. But it's high time that the central government should take note of what is happening in Andhra Pradesh. We need to bring it to the attention of the public and to the government that this is happening in Andhra Pradesh, that this type of tragedy is taking place. And if there's no law and order in a state, it is a duty of the central government to step in and do something about it. Today, there's no law and order in Andhra Pradesh.
So, will you raise this issue inside the House?
Definitely, we'll try to get every opportunity possible to raise the issue inside the House and outside the House and bring it to the notice of not only the government, but the people at large should know that this is a completely false case. His image is being tarnished for political reasons, and they're trying to paint him with the same brush as the current ruling dispensation.
Important issue that we have raised is the illegal arrest on false accusations on the opposition leader in the state of Andhra Pradesh, who is Chandrababu Naidu. Chandrababu Naidu has been a senior leader in this country. He has rubbed shoulders with one of the important people of this country. For 45 years he has been in the political system, and in these last 45 years never had he had any allegation against him. But just because Jagan Mohan Reddy wanted to throw mud on him deliberately because of political vindictiveness based on false allegations without any evidence, he has put a corruption scam on his name, and we are going to fight it out legally also. But we have demanded the central government to take cognizance of this issue, to take into account that the YSRCP government in the state of Andhra Pradesh is deliberately demolishing democratic institutions and trying to abuse the power that he has today and trying to cut down the voice of the opposition. So this is something important not just for the state of the Andhra Pradesh but also as a country also. So that's why we have taken it up as an agenda item in the all-party meeting also, and we are going to take it up in the parliament also tomorrow.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want want justice. We want justice. We want justice. Justice. We want justice. We want justice. Save Andhra Pradesh. Save Andhra Pradesh. Save Andhra Pradesh. Save Pradesh. Save Andhra Pradesh. Save Andhra Pradesh. We want
आंध्र प्रदेश में जैसे आपने देखा है, हमारे नेता चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी को इलीगली अरेस्ट किया हुआ है। फॉल्स एविडेंस दिखाकर, कोई भी सबूत नहीं है, फिर भी उनको अरेस्ट किया गया है। जगन मोहन रेड्डी जो अभी आंध्र का मुख्यमंत्री है, एक साइको की तरह व्यवहार कर रहा है आंध्र प्रदेश में। कोई भी ऑपोजिशन वाला आवाज उठाना चाहता है, उनको जेल में डालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। उसी के हिसाब से आज चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी को जेल में डाला है। तो इसलिए पार्लियामेंट सदन के बाहर हम लोग अपनी आंदोलन कर रहे हैं कि आंध्र प्रदेश में डेमोक्रेसी को सेव करना चाहिए। इसी के लिए हम लोग यहाँ पे आंदोलन के लिए खड़े हुए हैं। जरूर सदन के अंदर भी ये चीज उठाएंगे, क्योंकि निर्दोष है चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी। आज एक निर्दोष को इस तरह से जेल में डालना, अगर आज आंध्र में हुआ है, कल कहीं पे भी हो सकता है, कोई भी पार्टी में हो सकता है। अगर सच्चे लोगों को हम सेव नहीं कर पाएंगे तो ये भारत का भविष्य अच्छा नहीं रहेगा।
The leader of the opposition in Andhra Pradesh, Telugu Desam Party national president, has been illegally arrested and kept in the Rajahmundry prison without any evidence and without any proof. So we believe that it's an illegal arrest. We are moving the courts. Legal process is going on. But it's high time that the central government should take note of what is happening in Andhra Pradesh. We need to bring it to the attention of the public and to the government that this is happening in Andhra Pradesh, that this type of tragedy is taking place. And if there's no law and order in a state, it is a duty of the central government to step in and do something about it. Today, there's no law and order in Andhra Pradesh.
So, will you raise this issue inside the House?
Definitely, we'll try to get every opportunity possible to raise the issue inside the House and outside the House and bring it to the notice of not only the government, but the people at large should know that this is a completely false case. His image is being tarnished for political reasons, and they're trying to paint him with the same brush as the current ruling dispensation.
Important issue that we have raised is the illegal arrest on false accusations on the opposition leader in the state of Andhra Pradesh, who is Chandrababu Naidu. Chandrababu Naidu has been a senior leader in this country.
मुझे लगता है कि इस आधार के ऊपर सरकार केंद्र में आई और उसने विपक्ष की सारी सरकारों को एक झटके में बर्खास्त कर दिया। यह भी लोकतंत्र के लिए एक चुनौती का दौर था और 80 के दशक में दो सबसे शक्तिशाली सरकारें हम लोगों ने देखी। श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी जी की 2/3 बहुमत की सरकार और राजीव गांधी जी की 80% बहुमत की सरकार। मगर इसी समय में देश ने बहुत बड़ी चुनौतियां, यह भी विडंबना थी कि सबसे शक्तिशाली बहुमत की सरकारों के दौर में आतंकवाद भी देश ने सबसे भयानक रूप में उठता हुआ देखा। फिर एक दौर आया जब 1980 के दशक का अंत हुआ और उस समय राष्ट्रवाद एक नए स्वरूप में उभरा। भारत के समाज में भी परिवर्तन आया, सामाजिक न्याय एक नए स्वरूप में उभरा, श्री राम जन्मभूमि का आंदोलन उभरा और इस देश की पॉलिटिक्स यूनिपोलर से बाइपोलर हुई। जब 1991 में हम लोग मुख्य विपक्षी दल बने 120 सीटों के साथ और उसी समय अर्थव्यवस्था का भी पुराना ढांचा टूटा। जो नेहरूवियन मॉडल था वो उस समय डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर थे और श्री पीवी नरसिम्हा राव जी प्रधानमंत्री थे, उन्होंने उसको समाप्त किया। और मुझे याद है, मैं तो बहुत बच्चा था उस समय, स्टूडेंट था, उस खुली अर्थव्यवस्था में भाषण देते हुए सदन में अटल जी ने बड़े चुटीले अंदाज में एक बात कही थी। उन्होंने कहा था कि अर्थव्यवस्था के दरवाजे खोल दिए गए हैं, कह दिया गया अब खुली अर्थव्यवस्था आ गई है, मगर उन्होंने कहा सभापति महोदय जितने दरवाजे आगे के खोले गए उतने पीछे के दरवाजे भी खोल दिए गए। और फिर उन्होंने कहा कुछ तो ऐसे भी हैं जो पीछे के दरवाजे ही नहीं, रोशनदान से भी अंदर आने के लिए दरवाजे खोल दिए गए हैं। इस प्रकार से उन्होंने उस खुली अर्थव्यवस्था का समर्थन और उसकी विद्रूपता के ऊपर एक अटैक भी करने का कार्य किया। और फिर इस देश ने एक वो दौर भी देखा जब 13 दिन की सरकार बनी, और उस 13 दिन की सरकार ने संसद के इतिहास में मील का पत्थर स्थापित कर दिया, जब संसद की सीधी कार्रवाई का प्रसारण हमने उस 13 दिन की सरकार में प्रारंभ किया। तो लोकतंत्र में पारदर्शिता और संसदीय कार्य की पारदर्शिता में मील का पत्थर हमने 1996 में 13 दिन की सरकार में स्थापित किया। फिर 97 में चूंकि अब हम उत्तरोत्तर शक्तिशाली होते जा रहे थे, तो सब मिलकर हमारे खिलाफ एकजुट थे। और इस संसद में एक वो दृश्य भी देखा कि सामान्यतः सरकार में एक दल होता है और बाकी सब दल विपक्ष में होते हैं। इस 50वें साल में हमने वो दृश्य देखा कि विपक्ष में एक दल था और बाकी सारे दल सरकार में थे, सरकार के साथ थे या सरकार के अंदर थे या सरकार के बाहर थे। जिसमें आप सबको वह ध्यान होगा जो प्रमोद महाजन जी ने बोला था कि वो विदेश में गए और उनका परिचय हुआ चाइना में कि साहब हम सबसे बड़े दल हैं और हम सरकार से बाहर है, विपक्षी दल हैं। फिर उन्होंने कांग्रेस के सदस्य का परिचय कराया, दूसरे सबसे बड़े दल हैं मगर ये सरकार में नहीं है, समर्थन कर रहे हैं। फिर तीसरे व्यक्ति का परिचय कराया और कहा कि साहब ये सरकार के साथ है मगर मंत्री नहीं है, सरकार में नहीं है। और फिर उन्होंने कहा कि रमाकांत कलब जी थे, उन्होंने कहा जी ये एकमात्र सांसद हैं अपने दल के और ये सरकार है। तो मेरे विचार से संसद का यह स्वरूप भी उस समय हमने देखा। वैसे इस अवसर के ऊपर मैं कोई चुभती बात नहीं करना चाहता, पर यह भी याद है कि 97 में गुजराल जी की सरकार किस मामले पे गई थी। जैन कमीशन की रिपोर्ट, स्वर्गीय राजीव गांधी जी की दुखद हत्या और उसको लेकर कुछ लोगों के पार्टियों के नेताओं के साथ संबंध को लेकर यूनाइटेड फ्रंट की सरकार गिराई गई थी और कहा गया था कि यह सरकार नहीं चल सकती यदि डीएमके के साथ समर्थन वापस नहीं लेते। परंतु कोई बात नहीं, आज 25 साल के बाद राजीव गांधी जी के प्रति श्रद्धा का ज्वार गठबंधन के खुमार में कहीं दब गया है और इसलिए अब परिस्थिति भिन्न है। अब मैं आता हूं इस कालखंड पे 1998 से 2023, ये तीसरा कालखंड जो हमारा हुआ।
All right, we're shifting focus now to the ongoing dispute, very much continuing between the state of Karnataka and the state of Tamil Nadu. Breaking news regarding exactly that we're going to share with you on the screen behind me in just a second. First, a little bit of context. You remember that Tamil Nadu continues to demand that the state of Karnataka give it what it demands as or describes as its fair share of water from the Kaveri River. This is, remember, a historical battle that is played out between these states. It spikes up or it flares up every time there is a shortage created due to a lack of rainfall in the Karnataka region, which is exactly what's taking place over the last few months. Now, the state of Karnataka did release some water, you might remember. However, now the state of Karnataka is saying that it wants to go to the Supreme Court and dispute the amount of water that it will need to give Tamil Nadu because, as we pointed out earlier, it's saying that there is not enough water to give out in the first place. Now, Karnataka has been ordered to release more water to Tamil Nadu. It's been ordered to release 5,000 caseques of water for the next 15 days to the state of Tamil Nadu. We'll bring you a little bit more context on these developments. But remember, this is an order that's come in from the Kaveri Water Management Authority. Today itself, they're essentially reiterating the decision of the Kaveri Water Regulation Committee. Again, as we said earlier, they're asking Karnataka to release 5,000 cubic feet of water per second to Tamil Nadu for another 15 days. This was a decision that was taken at an emergency meeting that took place today itself. We'll bring you more context on how Karnataka and Tamil Nadu will respond. First, a political reaction. Take a look.
Do not want to take much time. Just only one word I would like to say. This quarrel will not be solved legally if at all if our friends wants to have some sort of smooth understanding. Let all of us sit together and sort out the problem. Otherwise, things will continue and the struggle from both sides will go on, and this will not going to solve the problem. This type of fight on both sides. I only, with a humble request, I pray all our colleagues.
Okay, let's go over to my colleague Harish Upadhyay to get more in terms of context. Harish, good afternoon. Harish, if you could just tell our audiences, first, tell us what this order means. Tell us what legal routes remain in front of the state of Karnataka, the state of Tamil Nadu. Also, just to give our audiences a little bit more context, could you give our audiences a recent timeline of how this has played out, please?
Well, if you look at what are the options before the Karnataka government right now, they can approach the Supreme Court. That's something that was discussed in the all-party meeting that happened earlier last week. And that's something that Karnataka will most probably will also go in for, because let's put this in context. The storage, live storage last week across the 4 dams built across River Kaveri was around 53 TMC feet. If Karnataka indeed releases around 5,000 cusecs of water every day, it will end up releasing anywhere nearly 7 TMC feet of water, which means you will have another 40 odd feet, 47 feet of water left. If you look at the consumption that's required till next monsoon, till next June, just for the drinking purpose of Bengaluru and other towns in the Kaveri Basin in Karnataka, the state assesses that it will need 33 TMC feet of water. So not much remaining for either irrigation or industrial purpose, or even the live storage there, which is dipping, is also a huge concern for the state of Karnataka. That's why the state is saying that it's not in a position to release water for irrigation purpose, cultivation purpose in Tamil Nadu. The state might approach the Supreme Court, but if you look at what has happened since early August, it was Tamil Nadu which first moved the Supreme Court, saying that Karnataka was not adhering to the order. It went back to the River Management Authority, and then initially the order was to release 15,000 cusecs of water. Then Karnataka went ahead and released water. Then it was reduced to 10,000 cusecs. Once again, the state was saying that it was becoming difficult for the state to release that kind of water. And earlier last week, the state said it's reached a point where even if it's willing to, there's absolutely no water in the 4 reservoirs. And whatever remaining live storage is there, that has to be prioritized for drinking water needs of Mandya, Mysuru, Karnataka, in Bengaluru, and other places in the Karnataka Kaveri Basin region. And that's the argument that the state is likely to put forth before the Supreme Court, that the drinking water needs of more than 1 crore people is dependent on the live storage of water in these 4 dams. And that's something that the Supreme Court needs to prioritize and step in now.
Harish, thank you for bringing us that context. All right, we're going to move on from this story playing out in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu now to a story relating to what's taking place as we speak in Anantnag. Our next story is breaking news for you. As counter-terror operations enter their 6th day in Anantnag, this is a statement coming in from sources. This is a CNN News 18 mega exclusive about how India is planning to handle Pakistan in this context. Government sources are telling us that all options are open against Pakistan when it comes to infiltration. Now, there are 2 options in particular that India is considering. To tell us more about this, my colleague Siddhant is joining us live from right here in the newsroom. Let's go over to him to understand more.
Well, yes, that's right, Toya. In fact, there are certain options which government of India is mulling or perhaps thinking about. The option number 1 are the launch pads on the border, and this particular breaking is being brought to us by Manoj Gupta, senior editor, investigation, and he's telling us that there is an option of launch pad, so there could be some sort of a strategy to destroy those launch pads. Then India and Pakistan are in the state of ceasefire, so India can perhaps take a step forward to protect the borders by ending the ceasefire which is going on between the 2 sides. Now, Toya, that the Interior Ministry of Pakistan spends a lot of money when it comes to protecting the borders on LOC, and we all know the situation of economy in Pakistan. So perhaps there could be some major action that India can take if this will not stop. And last but not the least, the areas of POK and Gilgit-Baltistan. We all are familiar with the videos that we are getting from those areas where people are perhaps carrying out rallies, and they want their areas, their region to be merged with India, so that can perhaps be executed. So it's this particular breaking is from the top sources in the government of India, and perhaps the security setup, and the government is with complete ideology and mandate. So Pakistan should be perhaps ready for any sort of a major or extreme step that government can take, and no option can be ruled out, and perhaps India is ready for anything once political masters are convinced. So we can convey this to our viewers, and this is what Manoj Gupta is reporting. There are 3 to 4 options which government is mulling right now, to protect the border. The ceasefire can be ended, the launch pads can be destroyed. There could be a merger of POK and Gilgit-Baltistan. A lot of anti-government sentiment is brewing in those areas because the economy is failing, the economy is collapsing. So, it's a message that is coming from the sources in Indian government to Pakistan that ended there itself. The encounter is still going on, and the teams are out to look for those terrorists to neutralize them who were involved in the counterfire, and because of which the 3 braves lost their lives in Anantnag.
That's my colleague Siddhant. Siddhant will also look to understand from experts what this is going to mean for both countries through the evening today. Right now it's time for a short break. This is The Nation at 5. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
Brought to you with one of the important people of this country. For 45 years he's been in the political system, and in these last 45 years never had he had any allegation against him. But just because Jagan Mohan Reddy wanted to throw mud on him deliberately because of political vindictiveness based on false allegations without any evidence, he has put a corruption scam on his name, and we are going to fight it out legally also. But we have demanded the central government to take cognizance of this issue, to take into account that the YSRCP government in the state of Andhra Pradesh is deliberately demolishing democratic institutions and trying to abuse the power that he has today, and trying to cut down the voice of the opposition. So this is something important, not just for the state of Andhra Pradesh, but also as a country also. So that's why we have taken it up as an agenda item in the all-party meeting also, and we are going to take it up in the parliament also tomorrow.
We want justice! 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 Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh!
आंध्र प्रदेश में जैसे आपने देखा है, हमारे नेता चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी को इलीगली अरेस्ट किया हुआ है, फॉल्स एविडेंस दिखाकर। कोई भी सबूत नहीं है, फिर भी उनको अरेस्ट किया गया है। जगन मोहन रेड्डी जो अभी आंध्र का मुख्यमंत्री है, एक साइको की तरह व्यवहार कर रहा है आंध्र प्रदेश में। कोई भी ऑपोजिशन वाला आवाज उठाना चाहता है, उनको जेल में डालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। उसी के हिसाब से आज चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी को जेल में डाला है। तो इसलिए पार्लियामेंट सदन के बाहर हम लोग अपनी आंदोलन कर रहे हैं कि आंध्र प्रदेश में डेमोक्रेसी को सेव करना चाहिए। इसी के लिए हम लोग यहाँ पे आंदोलन के लिए खड़े हुए हैं। जरूर सदन के अंदर भी ये चीज उठाएंगे, क्योंकि निर्दोष है चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी। आज एक निर्दोष को इस तरह से जेल में डालना, अगर आज आंध्रा में हुआ है, कल कहीं पे भी हो सकता है, कोई भी पार्टी में हो सकता है। अगर सच्चे लोगों को हम सेव नहीं कर पाएंगे तो ये भारत का भविष्य अच्छा नहीं रहेगा।
The leader of the opposition in Andhra Pradesh, Telugu Desam Party national president, has been illegally arrested and kept in the Rajahmundry prison without any evidence and without any proof. So we believe that it's an illegal arrest. We are moving the courts. Legal process is going on. But it's high time that the central government should take note of what is happening in Andhra Pradesh. We need to bring it to the attention of the public and to the government that this is happening in Andhra Pradesh, that this type of tragedy is taking place. And if there's no law and order in a state, it is a duty of the central government to step in and do something about it. Today, there's no law and order in Andhra Pradesh.
So will you raise this issue inside the house?
Definitely, we'll try to get every opportunity possible to raise the issue inside the house and outside the house and bring it to the notice of not only the government but the people at large should know that this is a completely false case. His image is being tarnished for political reasons, and they're trying to paint him with the same brush as the current ruling dispensation.
Important issue that we have raised is the illegal arrest on false accusations on the opposition leader in the state of Andhra Pradesh, who is Chandrababu Naidu. Chandrababu Naidu has been a senior leader in this country. He has rubbed shoulders with one of the important people of this country. For 45 years he has been in the political system, and in these last 45 years never had he had any allegation against him. But just because Jagan Mohan Reddy wanted to throw mud on him deliberately because of political vindictiveness based on false allegations without any evidence, he has put a corruption scam on his name, and we are going to fight it out legally also. But we have demanded the central government to take cognizance of this issue, to take into account that the YSRCP government in the state of Andhra Pradesh is deliberately demolishing democratic institutions and trying to abuse the power that he has today and trying to cut down the voice of the opposition. So this is something important not just for the state of Andhra Pradesh but also as a country also. So that's why we have taken it up as an agenda item in the all-party meeting also, and we are going to take it up in the parliament also tomorrow.
We want justice! 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 Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh! Save Andhra Pradesh!
आंध्र प्रदेश में जैसे आपने देखा है, हमारे नेता चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी को इलीगली अरेस्ट किया हुआ है। फॉल्स एविडेंस दिखाकर, कोई भी सबूत नहीं है फिर भी उनको अरेस्ट किया गया है। जगन मोहन रेड्डी जो अभी आंध्र का मुख्यमंत्री है, एक साइको की तरह व्यवहार कर रहा है आंध्र प्रदेश में। कोई भी ऑपोजिशन वाला आवाज उठाना चाहता है उनको जेल में डालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। उसी के हिसाब से आज चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी को जेल में डाला है। तो इसलिए पार्लियामेंट सदन के बाहर हम लोग अपनी आंदोलन कर रहे हैं कि आंध्र प्रदेश में डेमोक्रेसी को सेव करना चाहिए। इसी के लिए हम लोग यहाँ पे आंदोलन के लिए खड़े हुए हैं। जरूर सदन के अंदर भी ये चीज उठाएंगे, क्योंकि निर्दोष है चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी। आज एक निर्दोष को इस तरह से जेल में डालना, अगर आज आंध्र में हुआ है, कल कहीं पे भी हो सकता है, कोई भी पार्टी में हो सकता है। अगर सच्चे लोगों को हम सेव नहीं कर पाएंगे तो ये भारत का भविष्य अच्छा नहीं रहेगा।
The leader of the opposition in Andhra Pradesh, Telugu Desam Party national president, has been illegally arrested and kept in the
Welcome back. You're watching The Nation at 5. Our next story, we're going to be taking you down south to Telangana, a state that you might remember is due for elections in just a few months from now. Now, the story we're bringing you regards the grand old party, the Congress, that in a mega rally right outside Hyderabad has made the announcement of 6 poll promises. Now, these announcements were made by the former Congress president, senior Congress leader Sonia Gandhi. These 6 poll promises, some of which are very similar to the poll promises that the Congress made in the state of Karnataka, remember, an election that it just won a few months ago. These poll promises are now being called freebies by both the BJP and members of the BRS, the Bharatiya Janata Samiti, the party currently in power in the state of Telangana. We're going to walk you through these political reactions, then we'll connect with the reporter to understand more.
Telangana
Congress's 6 big guarantees have been unveiled for Telangana. Your first reaction?
Well, they have to announce so many guarantees and make a big issue out of it. But people of Telangana do understand Congress never stands by their word. They have time and again betrayed Telangana. Even during the formation of Telangana, they said 2004 they will form Telangana, but they delayed it by 10 years, a decade. As a result, many of our kids lost their lives. In 1969, we asked for it, but they shot 350 of our kids. So there is a very bad experience of Telangana people with Congress. Time and again they have betrayed people of Telangana. So this time around, when they come back and say that my only dream is that Congress government is formed in Telangana, but the dream does not include people of Telangana, neither their prosperity. That's a little disappointing to hear from the top leadership of Congress party. And whatever guarantees they have given in any other states, we understand from whatever news reports we see that they have not been able to pull them off properly. So people of Telangana also know that. So whatever Congress promises, they will not be able to deliver upon it.
On this historic day, to make an announcement which will empower my dear sisters of Telangana. Mahalakshmi, which means rupees 2,500 month financial assistance to women. Gas cylinders at rupees 500.
हमने एक गारंटी पहले दी थी, आपके साथ एक सपना देखा था, अब हम आपको 6 और गारंटी देना चाहते हैं। तेलंगाना में जो भी लोग हैं जिनके पास घर नहीं है, आप अच्छी तरह सुनिए, जैसे ही हमारी सरकार आएगी, आपके सिर के ऊपर एक छत आ जाएगी। दूसरा वायदा, महालक्ष्मी जो सोनिया जी ने अनाउंस किया, कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार आएगी तो तेलंगाना की महिलाएं मुफ्त में बस में घूमेंगी। तीसरा वायदा, गारंटी, गृह ज्योति, 200 यूनिट मुफ्त बिजली।
Okay, let's now go to my colleague Swastika, who joins us live from the ground. Swastika, two-pronged question for you. Question number one, back in 2018, a similar accusation had been made of the BRS. Can you tell our audiences more about the context when it comes to Telangana's history with freebies? Can you also tell our audiences, in the hours since Sonia Gandhi made this announcement, have you had the chance to speak to residents? What have they had to say? What is their reaction to these Congress promises?
Well, when you talk about the freebie culture debate, even the BRS is not independent of it, because Telangana is a welfare state and the Chief Minister here practically has covered every community with a welfare scheme. With the Congress announcing 6 guarantees now, the key highlights of them which have been already highlighted through the sound bites, but I'm going to reiterate: free bus rides for women, 2,500 rupee allowance, 15,000 rupees per acre per year allowance for farmers. These are the SOPs that Congress has in fact launched or announced for Telangana, and if they will be implemented from day one, as Rahul Gandhi says, if the party is voted to power, essentially sets the tone that as far as Telangana is concerned, the battle is more on the grounds of welfare schemes. The welfare scheme or the guarantee card model that the Congress has come up with has in fact given them results in Karnataka, and they are hopeful of repeating that in Telangana as well. But as far as KCR is concerned, October 16th is when the BRS party is all set to launch its manifesto, and in all likelihood we can expect more announcements as far as the welfare scheme is concerned. So the freebie culture debate, when I questioned that to K. Kavita, the Chief Minister's daughter, BRS MLC, she says the freebie culture is something that cannot be associated with KCR because there is economy being pumped, or the rural economy is being recharged via different schemes that KCR has come up with. So whether it is 24-hour power supply, we are also boosting industrial growth, rural growth, as well as the households which are dependent on it. If you look at irrigation, the Chief Minister recently launched the Palamuru Rangareddy lift irrigation project. So the KCR party or BRS party effectively has been counting on, and even in 2018 the election that they won was largely because of a slew of welfare schemes that they announced for select population, and that's the reason why the Congress here, even though it claims, or it sort of claims the credit of being the party which gave Telangana and something that did not really have a good subsequently there was a fallout between both the sides by TRS and Congress. The Congress is now claiming that A, we are giving you guarantees, and B, we are the party which actually gave you Telangana, and that's why that's the poll plank that the Congress is going out with. So crucial things to watch out for, and it will be interesting set of narratives that are being pushed from both.
Thank you for bringing our audiences that context. With that story, we are bringing our show, The Nation at 5, to a close. It is 6 p.m. Next, my colleague Griha joins you at 6 for The Viewpoint. Take a look.
Good evening and a warm welcome. I'm Griha and you're watching Viewpoint. A 5-day special session of the Parliament started today with the Prime Minister's address in the Lok Sabha. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his last speech at the old building of the Parliament, paid tributes to every brick of the old while hailing the events and people that shaped history through it all. Prime Minister Modi hailed the vision